It seems to be an open race. Here are the runners and riders from Peter.
Yes, they've won 113 of their 433 races, these chasers, and the weights are headed by number 2, Charter Party, Richard Dunwoody, 3, Everett, Stuart Shilston, 5, Dorlatch, Richard Rowe, 6, Maori Venture, Steve Knight, 7, Plundering, Peter Scudamore, 8, Steersby, Graham McCourt, 9, Arctic Bow, Hugh Davis, 10, Broadheath, Paul Nichols, 11, the Langham Dar, Phil Tuck, 12, Strands of Gold, Mark Dwyer, 13, Tracy's Special, Luke Harvey, 14, Churchwarden, Colin Brown, 15, Quick Trip, the Irish Challenger, ridden by Mr. David O'Connor, 16, the Catch Bull, Kevin Mooney, 17, 2 Coppers, Brendan Powell.
And incidentally, the non-appearance of Run and Skip, or rather the failure to withdraw him at the overnight stage, has led to his trainer John Spearing being referred to the stewards of the Jockey Club. Well, possibly one of the most open Hennessy's this, I think, in the 30-year history of the race. Jimmy Fitzgerald won it last year with Galway Blaze. He's responsible for the anti-post favourite today in Strands of Gold, who very, very nearly landed some sizable bets at the Cheltenham Festival in the Sun Alliance steeplechase.
But it's Crossmaster on the near side, Strands of Gold on the far side. Crossmaster, Strands of Gold on the far side, Crossmaster on the near side, Mark Dwyer over on the far side on Strands of Gold on the near side. Crossmaster, there's nothing between them as they race up towards the line. It's Strands of Gold on the far side, Crossmaster on the near side. It's a photo finish between Strands of Gold and Crossmaster. Steersby was third.
Strands of Gold touched off by a head there, but on that form at least he should beat Steersby. Bill Smith's with me. Bill, which of these two do you see coming out better?
Well, I think Strands of Gold, very tough, dour stayer like his full brother Canny Danny. Steersby's jumping has let him down in the past, and although he reversed the form of Strands of Gold at Liverpool, I think probably today Strands of Gold will have the better of him here.
Well, the runner who did deliver the goods at Cheltenham at the festival was Charter Party, the 3-length winner of the Ritz Club National Hunt Handicap Chase.
They're racing now to the final fence now. Catchphrase on the near side, Charter Party on the far side. There's nothing between them. Catchphrase and Charter Party, they land almost in unison. Brunton Park has now moved into third. The follower there was Green Bramble. They're racing into the closing stages. It's Charter Party on the far side, on the near side. It's Catchphrase, then comes Brunton Park as they race up towards the line. It's Charter Party going away now quickly and coming to the line. Charter Party is the winner, and second is Catchphrase. It's going to be very close for third.
Well, there we see Charter Party in different colours now, emerald green and white stars, and Bill, he's a horse well suited by these muddy conditions.
Yes, he'll love the ground. Trainer and jockey in tremendous form, Richard Dunwoody and David Nicholson. They seem pretty unstoppable at the moment. But he's got a lot of weight, and although I can see him running very well, I think actually winning it today might just be a little bit beyond him.
Well, now, Jackie Thorne's just become a trainer following the death of her father, John Thorne, 6 months ago. She could hardly have saddled a more dramatic first winner than Arctic Bow over this course last month.
Going to the last, Arctic Bow on the near side. I haven't a light on the far side. There's not going to be much between them. And I haven't a light jumps it well on the inside from Arctic Bow. Maori Venture in third place. And up this long run in. It's I haven't a light on the inside. Just in the lead from Arctic Bow, but it's not over yet. Maori Venture in third place going to the line. I haven't a light on the far side. Arctic Bow on the near side. It's very close indeed.
And in the end, it was a dead heat. There he is in the quartered colours, Hugh Davis. Difficult for him today, Bill.
Yes, this horse needs top of the ground. He's shown his best form when it's been really on top. And although the ground today, I don't think it'll be absolutely bottomless and that bad, he really wants it on top, and I think that that'll be right against him. I think his problem is going to be the ground as opposed to the other runners.
Well, another recent clue came when the Langham Dyer and Plundering clashed at Cheltenham earlier this month.
This is the last fence now. The Langham Dyer on the far side. Fudge the Light getting back there in the picture on the near side. The Langham Dyer, Fudge the Light racing into the closing stages. The Langham Dyer from Fudge the Light and Plundering, and as they race up the hill, it's Plundering who's the challenger now to the Langham Dyer, but the Langham Dyer holding Plundering as they come to the line, and he's going to win it at the line. The Langham Dyer is the winner, and Plundering is second, and third is Fudge the Light, fourth.
The Langham Dyer, would you expect him to confirm the form, Bill?
There won't be much between them. I think probably today the Langham Dyer, though he had it all his own way at Cheltenham, he's only a novice, he likes to be up there, likes to make the running, and the Hennessy's not that easy a race to do that in. I think probably there's a bit more pressure on him today, and therefore his jumping may just let him down a bit. He's only just out of the novice stage, really.
And not a lucky race for his trainer either.
No, I suppose not. Mind if he won 2 nationals, who cares about the Hennessy?
Well, an even more recent clue came at Ascot last Saturday when Churchwarden came from last to first in the H&T Walker Goddess Chase.
Berlin now with a 2-length advantage from Desert Orchid, and Churchwarden coming there strongly. This is the final fence. Good jump there by Berlin. Churchwarden finishing strongly. It's Berlin from Churchwarden. They're racing to the closing stages. Berlin being challenged by Churchwarden on the near side. Berlin, Churchwarden as they come to the line. Churchwarden's got up. He's won it. Churchwarden the winner. Berlin second. It's a photo for third. But
well, a really dramatic success, and remember that was 2.5 miles. Today's trip's going to suit him. I don't know whether really wet ground would suit him. A cripple won this race 12 months ago. Bill, could history repeat itself?
It could just do that. I wouldn't worry too much. This horse has a reoccurring lameness, which is something to do with the circulation of his blood, and it has a tie-up problem. It has intermittent lameness, which apparently hasn't reoccurred after that race. So as long as he's not lame, hopefully he's all right. But whether he's quite good enough today is another matter.
Well, finally, a couple of horses that tend to get on the floor. Firstly, Dorlach, who fell at the first in the National this year, and then he lost his rider at the last ditch at Ascot on his reappearance. There he is in the black colours.
Yes, we see him make a wholesale blunder here and give Peter Hobbs no chance of staying on. It's a ditch, and he just puts down and really hits the fence hard. There he goes, and fires him straight into the ground. He does make the odd mistake, but basically is a pretty sound jumper. Was third in the race last year, and I think he's got an outstanding chance today, providing he puts in a clear round.
And Richard Rose, back on his back today, knows him really well.
Yes, it does help if the pilot knows the horse inside out like Richard does.
And finally, Everett, owned by the sponsoring family, as was the Great Mandarin. He did a real demolition job at the second last in this race 3 seasons ago.
Yes, and gave poor Stuart Shilston a terrible fall and did his shoulder in. I think he'd probably remember it again today, but I don't think he's good enough. He's 11 years old. He again shows his best form on top of the ground, and I think you can see his shoulders gone straight away there. And I don't think his jumping or the ground are going to help him any today, not to mention the fact, as I say, that he's probably not getting any quicker.
So how do you sum it up?
I'm going to go for Dorlach and a clear round, we hope.
It'd be marvellous to see Everett run well for the sponsors. Let's hear news of betting on the 30th running of the Hennessy Cognac Go Cup.
Everett currently on 16 to 1 from 14s, but there are only 2 points between 7 of these horses. Broadheath and Charter Party are the joint favourites, 6 to 1. The Strands of Gold, Churchwarden and Dorlach are on 7s, and on 8 to 1, the Langham Dyer and Steersby. Plundering is 9 to 1. Mary Venture is 14 to 1, and Everett, as I said, 16 to 1, 20 to 1 bar.
Well, remarkable betting that, because as you can see, there are 8 horses on the list priced at 9 to 1 or less, which you might say gives an advantage to the layers, but certainly it shows the open nature of the race. Bill, anything appeal to you there?
Yes, as you say, you know, that you see what an open race this is. I think it's about fair. 7 at 1 Dorlach would be a good price for him. Look at just some of the long ones. Mary Venture, who ran very well when third behind Arctic Bow. 14 to 1, you can see him as a nice each-way chance. As I say, the rest of them, it could be any one of those, couldn't it?
And late news is that Charter Party is now clear favourite at 6 to 1. Thousands and thousands in the stands, looking forward to a great race. Here now, Richard Pittman.
Yes, getting in is difficult and getting out is even worse, but the punters who come for this sort of racing don't mind, and I'm sure they'll have fortified themselves against the chilling winds that we've got here today. Well, there's one Irish horse. He's just gone out to the right of the picture, a raider there, just turning away. There he is, quick trip, way down at the bottom. He's not actually in the handicap proper, but he carries 10 stone, and he's ridden by David O'Connor for his father, Jimmy. This horse has won his last 2. He's 33 to 1 at the moment, and he's got some goodish form, you know, because he beat Borough Quarter, the horse owned by Mrs. Hill, owned the late Dawn Run, of course, and I somehow don't think he's good enough, but he's certainly worth bringing over the trip. Now, Broadheath there in the diamonds, or the check, just going out to the left. There he is, sweating a bit. This was favourite until just now. In fact, Broadheath has come on in leaps and bounds. It's ironical, really, if this one beats Charter Party, because David Nicholson used to train Broadheath for his current owner, Michael Marsh, who's moved down to the West Country, so Broadheath went as well. He's a 13 to 2 shot. Paul Nichols has the ride, and This one was really maligned a little bit earlier on, you know, because he beat Charter Party really well at Wincanton on the 13th of November. And Paul Nicholls says, well, Charter Party may have needed the race, but he thought his horse was a little bit short as well. So they expect him to go very close. Now, the best turned out there, number 8, Steersby, and Adam Kite gets the prize from the sponsor. A big, strong horse, this. And as you can see, got a little bit of a mind of his own then. He wanted to come back. In the paddock, he was simply bouncing away. Well, he was second on his reappearance this season, and he was beaten by a horse that you would expect him to beat, Celtic Slave. But a lot of Jenny Pitman's horses have needed their first run of the season. I fancy him a lot. He looked tired and well beaten by Strands of Gold in the Sun Alliance at Cheltenham, but in my opinion he was unlucky on that occasion because he'd been stopped about 4 from the finish and only got going when it was too late. Let's see if there's any move in the market.
Well, Steersby is still 8-1. Charter Party is the favourite, 11-2. Broadheath 13-2. Dorlatch the same price. Strands of Gold 7-1. And on 8-1, 2 of them, Churchwarden and Steersby. Plundering has gone from 8 to 9-1. The Langham Dyer has also gone out to 10-1. Maori Venture is still on 14s, and Everett on 16-1. 20-1 bar.
Brilliant race. There's the favourite in the Stars of Jenny Mould. And this horse, a big, handsome horse, very unlucky when he fell 4 out last year. He was still in with a squeak. What would have happened is anybody's guess, but he went from strength to strength after that. 11-2 favourite. And could Richard Dunwoody win the feature race for the 3rd Saturday running? Looks if the goggles are coming out. We haven't seen too many of them, but we saw a lot of them in the parade and the videotapes. Plundering in the Hearts there, the Cherry Hearts of Mrs. Miles Valentine. A Whitbread winner, a good horse this. Although he was beaten by the Langham Dyer, the stable thinks they may reverse. But the action is very close, so is Peter O'Sullivan.
21 fences to be jumped this time in the 30th Hennessy Gold Cup. They're being called in, and they're away. And racing towards the first, closely packed up front with 2 Coppers, the grey, just shading them as they come to the first, Plundering right up there. Dorlatch also jumps with them. They're all safely over the first. Quick Trip, the Irish Hope, jumped it last. The Langham Dyer's taking it up now as they come to the first of the ditches. The Langham Dyer in the lead now from Plundering and 2 Coppers and Dorlatch. And behind them come Everett and Arctic Bow and Charter Party, and behind them Broadheath and the Catchpool, and then Maori Venture and Strands of Gold. Quick Trip as the back marker. The Langham Dyer as the leader as they come to the 3rd. The Langham Dyer lands in the lead from 2 Coppers and Plundering. Behind them, Dorlatch and Everett and Charter Party. Then Arctic Bow, and on the inside is Broadheath, and then the Catchpool, and then Maori Venture and Tracy Special and Strands of Gold and Quick Trip as they jump the 4th now. The Langham Dyer lands clear of 2 Coppers who jumped it 2nd. Plundering on the inside. Right up there with them is Dorlatch, and then comes Everett and Charter Party. And behind them, Broadheath as they come to the 5th now. Langham Dyer clear at the 5th. Langham Dyer from 2 Coppers. Then Plundering and Dorlatch and Everett and Broadheath. Then comes Strands of Gold and Arctic Bow. Churchwarden's one of the back markers now with Quick Trip as they begin to swing left-handed and race towards the next. The Langham Dyer in the lead from 2 Coppers, Plundering, Dorlatch. Then comes Everett and Arctic Bow and Charter Party and the Catchpool. Broadheath only just in behind him, and then Tracy's Special. The back marker is Quick Trip with Steersby just 1 ahead of him, and the grey has taken it up now. 2 Coppers from the Langham Dyer as they jump the 6th. 2 Coppers and the Langham Dyer jump it together. Dorlatch jumped it 3rd. They're all still standing. Plundering on the inside, then Charter Party, then the Catchpool, then Arctic Bow. Behind Arctic Bow is Broadheath and Everett, and behind Everett, Tracy Special and Strands of Gold. Quick Trip still the back marker as they turn into the straight for the first time. The Langham Dyer in the lead. On the far side, on the near side, not much between them, is the grey, 2 Coppers, then Plundering over on the far side. Dorlatch comes next, showing there with his white nose just in the picture as they jump the 7th. 2 Coppers and the Langham Dyer from Dorlatch. Plundering on the far side. Mistake by Arctic Bow at that one as they come down to another ditch now. This is the 2nd of the ditches. The Langham Dyer, 2 Coppers, Dorlatch right up with them, then Plundering, and then Broadheath. And then Everett, Tracy's Special and the Catchpool. Number 9, the Langham Dyer and 2 Coppers. from Dorlash, jumps it third. Plundering and Broadheath just in behind. Then comes Everett. Behind Everett, the Catch Pool Charter Party. Strands of Gold. Steersby's improved a little bit. Then comes Mari Venture, then Churchwarden, then Arctic Bow, and Quick Trip as they jump the next. Number 10, the Langham Dar lands in the lead from 2 Coppers and Plundering. And then comes Dorlatch, and Broadheath, whose rider's lost his cap, and then Everett, and then the Catch Pool, and then Charter Party, and then Strands of Gold, and behind them Mari Venture and Steersby, and then Tracy Special and Churchwarden and Arctic Bow, and Quick Trip, the back marker. They're jumping the water now, and as they jump it, the Langham Dar lands just in the lead from 2 Coppers. Dorlatch very close in third. Catch Pool 4 and 5 on the inside is Plundering, and 6 Charter Party. 7, 8 and 9 are Arctic Bow and Mari Venture and Steersby, and then on the inside Strands of Gold with Broadheath, who's lost a place or two, then Tracy Special and Quick Trip and Churchwarden as they go out into the country now for the last time. 10 left to jump, and 2 Coppers with the advantage from the Langham Dar. Then the Catch Pool on the outside of Dorlatch. Just in behind them Charter Party in 6 and 7 is Plundering. Behind them Broadheath and Everett, and then Strands of Gold going well in the middle of the field as they jump the 12th. And then comes Mari Venture and Steersby and Arctic Bow and Tracy Special and Churchwarden and Quick Trip just the back marker. Coming to the third of the 4 ditches now. 2 Coppers lands in the lead from Plundering on the inside. A good jump by Plundering. Langham Dar drops back to third. Dorlatch is 4-5, the Catch Pool. 6 then is Broadheath. Then making ground is steadily is Strands of Gold as they jump the 13th. 2 Coppers from on the near side Plundering. Then the Langham Dar. Then comes Broadheath. 7 left to jump now. Still right up there in the firing line is Dorlatch with the Catch Pool and Steersby, who's improved, and then Strands of Gold. Charter Party has lost quite a bit of ground now, coming down towards the next, and closely grouped up front. This is 6 from home. The grey, 2 Coppers in the lead from Plundering on the inside. The Catch Pool, the Langham Dar, just in behind them, Dorlatch. They've got a long run now towards the next fence. They'll be swinging left-handed shortly, and still a wide open race. 2 Coppers, the grey, in the lead from Plundering in second. The Catch Pool is third. 4 showing there with his white face is Dorlatch. Then on the inside is Broadheath. Racing towards the next, and Strands of Gold improving just in behind the leaders. 5 from home this, 2 Coppers from the Catch Pool. Plundering, Dorlatch, Broadheath, Strands of Gold still improving. Mark Dwyer, Steersby not far behind him, nor is Mari's Venture. 2 Coppers, and Dorlatch landed in the lead there. Dorlatch landed in the lead. They're racing now towards the home turn. Dorlatch being pressed again by the grey 2 Coppers, and Plundering going strongly on the inside. Then comes Plundering just in behind Plundering. Strands of Gold still improving. Arctic Bow's been pulled up. They're coming down to the final one before the last ditch. This is the 4th from home now. Dorlatch showing with his white face towards the near side. Plundering on the far side. 2 Coppers. Strands of Gold is still coming there strongly. Broadheath right in contention, coming down to the final ditch now in the 1986 Hennessy Gold Cup. Plundering over on the far side. Broadheath cantering in the centre by the look of it. Then comes 2 Coppers, and then Dorlatch just in behind him over the final ditch. Broadheath nearly went there. Dorlatch is a faller. They're coming down now to the second last. It's Broadheath, 2 Coppers over on the far side. Mari Venture, then Plundering, and then Strands of Gold. Broadheath lands fractionally in the lead from 2 Coppers on the near side. Plundering on the far side. Strands of Gold and Mark Dwyer still coming there as they come down to the final fence. It's Broadheath on the near side. Plundering on the far side. Mari Venture coming there strongly with Strands of Gold at the final fence. Broadheath's going to land in the lead. It's Broadheath from Plundering, then 2 Coppers, then Strands of Gold. Broadheath, 2 Coppers on the near side. Broadheath with the advantage. 2 Coppers, Plundering on the far side. As they race into the final 100 yards, it's Broadheath from Plundering. Mari Venture putting in a tremendous run. It's Broadheath from 2 Coppers as they race to the line. Broadheath's going to hold him at the line. Broadheath has won in 2 Coppers, second, third, Mari Venture. 4 is Plundering, and 5 Strands of Gold. 6 and 7 are Steersby and the Catch Pool. And then come the Langham Dar and Tracy Special, and they're the only finishers. And so the result of the 1986 Hennessy Cognac Gold Cup is first, number 10, Broadheath, owned by Mr. Michael Marsh, trained by David Barons, ridden by Paul Nichols. Second, number 17, 2 Coppers, owned by Mr. S. Hunt, trained by Les Kennard and ridden by Brendan Powell. And third, number 6, Mari Venture, owned by Mr. Jim Joel, trained by Andy Turnell and ridden by Steve Knight. Fourth was number 7, Plundering. Broadheath, the 6-1 winner. Here's how he won it.
Well, what a terrific race, and poor Dorlatch, who looked to have every chance, despite a mistake on the far side, pays the penalty at the third last. Just gets too close and crashes to the ground, kicking Richard Rowe on the way down. Broadheath had been creeping all the way through and was just now getting close enough to have a real chance. On the inside, Plundering, and the centre, Broadheath already under pressure before the second last. Two coppers who'd always been there, running on so well, and in fact rising first at the second last, the bottom weight. Close behind them, Strands of Gold, under pressure a mile out, but kept on battling on. And then back in fifth place, the horse who finished best of all, Maori Venture. Coming to the last, Bill, who did you see winning it?
Well, Broadheath, as you say, fighting his way there all the way in the front. Two coppers hit the second last quite hard, and it must have made a little bit of difference to him. But this West Country horse, Paul Nicholls, gets him right at the last, just pops it. Plundering puts in a good jump. They all make a good effort at it. But Broadheath, he's on his way home now.
Maori Venture with a terrific ground to make up. 6 lengths on the run-in, and the leader's getting really tired now in the ground.
This has been a fairly good gallop from the second circuit, but this horse really plugging on now. Two coppers staying on very well. Maori Venture finishing the best of all with his weight. He's just giving a bit of weight to his horses. He's run a cracking good race. But Broadheath, there he is at the line. He's the winner.
A fine bit of training by David Barron's, a really tough horse, but a marvellous Hennessy with 4 horses all in the picture at the line.
What marvellous compensation for being brought down at the 10th in the Magnuson Gold Cup. He's the official 1.5 lengths winner, with 1.5 lengths separating second and third. And as Julian said, a marvellous training performance this by David Barron's. This old horse is 15th win in his 51st race, and of course quite his most important. And a really delighted trainer there. It's his 11th winner of the season, David, and number 8 for Paul Nicholls. Paul, who lost his cap in the very early stages, but certainly didn't lose his head. He made a right blunder, this horse, at the second last, but Paul stayed with him. And my goodness, what a moment this must have been for him as he came to the second last with the advantage from Plundering over on the far side. He goes right up out of the plate there, but mercifully Broadheath is there when he comes down. There's Dorlatch going for Richard Rowe, getting a nasty fall there. He was right in contention at the time, but great for his owner, Jim Joel, that he still secured a place with his other runner, Maori Venture. Oh, another great renewal, the 30th running of this marvellous race, with the starting prices as follows.
First